Selections from the complete works of Swami Vivekananda. Part 20. The Ideal of a Universal Religion. How it must embrace different types of minds and methods. Now, a religion to satisfy the largest portion of mankind must be able to supply food for all these various types of minds. And where this capability is wanting, the existing sect all become one-sided. Suppose you go to a sect which preaches love and emotion. They sing and weep and preach love. But as soon as you say, my friend, that is all right, but I want something stronger than this, a little reason and philosophy. I want to understand things step by step and more rationally. Get out, they say, and they not only ask you to get out but would send you to the other place if they could. The result is that sect can only help people of an emotional turn of mind. They not only do not help others but try to destroy them, and the most wicked part of the whole thing is that they will not only not help others but do not believe in their sincerity. Again, there are philosophers who talk of the wisdom of India and the East and use big psychological terms, 50 syllables long, but if an ordinary man like me goes to them and says, "Can you tell me something to make me spiritual?" the first thing they would do would be to smile and say, "Oh, you are too far below us in your reason. What can you understand about spirituality?" These are high up philosophers. They simply show you the door. Then there are the mystical sect who speak all sorts of things about different planes of existence, different states of mind, and what the power of the mind can do, and so on. And if you are an ordinary man and say, "Show me anything good that I can do, I am not much given to speculation, can you give me anything that will suit me?" They will smile and say, "Listen to that fool, he knows nothing, his existence is for nothing." And this is going on everywhere in the world. I would like to get extreme exponents of all these different sects and shut them up in a room and photograph their beautiful derisive smiles. This is the existing condition of religion, the existing condition of things. What I want to propagate is a religion that will be equally acceptable to all minds. It must be equally philosophic, equally emotional, equally mystic, and equally conducive to action. If professors from the colleges come, scientific men and physicists, they will quote reason. Let them have it as much as they want. There will be a point beyond which they will think they cannot go without breaking with reason. They will say the ideas of God and salvation are superstitions. Give them up. I say, Mr. Philosopher, this body of yours is a bigger superstition. Give it up. Don't go to home to dinner or to your philosophic chair. Give up the body, and if you cannot, cry quarter and sit down. For religion must be able to show how to realize the philosophy that teaches us this world is one, that there is but one existence in the universe. Similarly, if the mystic comes, we must welcome him, be ready to give him the science of mental analysis and practically demonstrate it before him. And if emotional people come, we must sit, laugh, and weep with them in the name of the Lord. We must drink the cup of love and become mad. If the energetic worker comes, we must work with him with all the energy that we have. And this combination will be the ideal of the nearest approach to a universal religion. Would to God that all men were so constituted that in their minds all these elements of philosophy, mysticism, emotion, and of work were equally present in full. That is the ideal, my ideal of a perfect man. Everyone who has only one or two of these elements of character I consider one-sided. And this world is almost full of such one-sided men with knowledge of that one road only in which they move, and anything else is dangerous and horrible to them. To become harmoniously balanced in all these four directions is my ideal of religion. And this religion is attained by what we in India call yoga, union. To the worker, it is union between men and the whole of humanity. To the mystic, between his lower and higher self. To the lover, union between himself and the God of love. and to the philosopher it is a union of all existence. This is what is meant by yoga. This is a Sanskrit term, and these four divisions of yoga have in Sanskrit different names. The man who seeks after this kind of union is called a yogi. The worker is called the karma yogi. He who seeks the union through love is called the bhakti yogi. He who seeks it through mysticism is called the raja yogi, and he who seeks it through philosophy is called the jnana yogi. So, this world yogi comprises them all. Now, first of all, let me take up Raja Yoga. What is this Raja Yoga? This controlling of the mind. In this country, you are associating all sorts of hobgoblins with the word yoga. I am afraid, therefore, I must start by telling you that it has nothing to do with such things. No one of these yogas gives up reason, no one of them asks you to be hoodwinked or to deliver your reason into the hands of priests of any type whatsoever. No one of them asks that you should give your allegiance to any superhuman messenger. Each one of them tells you to cling to your reason, to hold fast to it. We find in all beings three sorts of instruments of knowledge. The first is instinct, which you find most highly developed in animals. This is the lowest instrument of knowledge. What is the second instrument of knowledge? Reasoning. You find that most highly developed in man. Now, in the first place, instinct is an inadequate instrument. To animals, the sphere of actions is very limited, and within that limit, instinct acts. When you come to man, you see it is largely developed into reason. The sphere of action also has here become enlarged. Yet, even reason is still very insufficient. Reason can go only a little way and then it stops. It cannot go any further, and if you try to push it, the result is helpless confusion. Reason itself becomes unreasonable. Logic becomes argument in a circle. Take for instance the very basis of our perception, matter and force. What is matter? That which is acted upon by force, and force that which acts upon matter. You see the complication, what the logicians call seesaw, one idea depending on the other and this again depending on the former. You find a mighty barrier before reason, beyond which reasoning cannot go. Yet it always feels impatient to get into that region of the infinite beyond. This world, this universe, which our senses feel or our mind thinks is but one atom, so to say, of the infinite projected onto the plane of consciousness. And within that narrow limit defined by the network of consciousness works our reason, and not beyond. Therefore, there must be some other instrument to take us beyond, and that instrument is called inspiration. So, instinct, reason, and inspiration are the three instruments of knowledge. Instincts belong to animals, reason to men, and inspiration to God men. But in all human beings are to be found in a more or less developed condition the germs of all these three instruments of knowledge. To have these mental instruments evolved, the germs must be there. And this must also be remembered that one instrument is a development of the other, and therefore does not contradict it. It is reason that develops into inspiration, and therefore inspiration does not contradict reason but fulfills it. Things which reason cannot get at are brought to light by inspiration, and they do not contradict reason. The old man does not contradict the child but fulfills the child. Therefore, you must always bear in mind that the great danger lies in mistaking the lower form of instrument to be the higher. Many times, instinct is presented before the world as an inspiration, and then come all the superior claims for the gift of prophecy. A fool or a semi-lunatic thinks that the confusion going on in his brain is inspiration, and he wants men to follow him. The most contradictory, irrational nonsense that has been preached in the world is simply the instinctive jargon of confused lunatic brains trying to pass for the language of inspiration. The first test of true teaching must be that the teaching should not contradict reason. And you may see that such is the basis of all these yogas. We take the Raja Yoga, the psychological way to union. It is a vast subject, and I can only point out to you now the central idea of this yoga. We have but one method of acquiring knowledge. From the lowest man to the highest yogi, all have to use the same method, and that method is what is called concentration. The chemist who works in his laboratory concentrates all the powers of his mind, brings them into one focus, and throws them on the elements, and the elements stand analyzed, and thus his knowledge comes. The astronomer has also concentrated the powers of his mind and brought them into one focus, and he throws them onto objects through his telescope, and stars and systems roll forward and give up their secrets to him. So it is in every case, with the professor in his chair, the student with his books, with every man who is working to know. You are hearing me, and if my words interest you, your mind will become concentrated on them. And then, suppose a clock strikes, you will not hear it on account of this concentration. And the more you are able to concentrate your mind, the better you will understand me. And the more I concentrate my love and powers, the better I shall be able to give expression to what I convey to you. The more this power of concentration, the more knowledge is acquired, because this is the one and only method of acquiring knowledge. Even the lowest shoe black, if he gives more concentration, will black shoes better. The cook with concentration will cook a meal all the better. In making money or in worshipping God or in doing anything, the stronger the power of concentration, the better will that thing be done. This is the one call, the one knock, which opens the gates of nature and lets out floods of light. This, the power of concentration, is the only key to the treasure house of knowledge. The system of Raja Yoga deals almost exclusively with this. In the present state of our body, we are so much distracted and the mind is frittering away its energies upon 100 sorts of things. As soon as I try to calm my thoughts and concentrate my mind upon any object of knowledge, thousands of undesired impulses rush into the brain. Thousands of thoughts rush into the mind and disturb it. How to check it and bring the mind under control is the whole subject of study in Raja Yoga.